Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. Today is Wednesday, December 30th, just 2 days left in 2020. I'm Stephanie Haney. Thanks for choosing to be here to get filled in on the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We start off with a story that you might have heard something about and not even realized it. If you've seen memes floating around on social media about twisted tea, now we know where it comes from. Turns out that it came out of Elyria, Ohio, and a confrontation between two people in a gas station in a Circle K in Elyria, Ohio. And we have the video up on WKYC.com, but here's a warning. There is a lot of cursing in the video and also racial slurs, and it's embedded in the video, so it is not edited. So if you want to see that, it's up on WKYC.com. But what the video shows is two men in a confrontation. One of those men is shouting racial slurs at another man repeatedly. It appears that the man who is shouting the racial slurs is drunk or intoxicated in some way. And then, after a few moments of this, the other man hits him over the head with a twisted tea, and that is where that reference is coming from on social media. Again, the video is tough to watch, but we do have that up on WKYC.com. It is uncensored with lots of swearing and racial slurs. Now we move to Governor Mike DeWine's press conference today. This is something that we've seen with a little bit of a different schedule because it's been the holiday, so we hear from him today. And in the press conference today, he let us know that the curfew has been extended again. That curfew, in effect throughout the state of Ohio, which is from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., has now been extended to January 23rd. It was supposed to expire on January 2nd, but being set again through January 23rd, that's 3 more weeks. DeWine said that's because we don't yet know what the effect the holidays will have on hospitals and healthcare systems, so they want to continue to be cautious. Now, here's a reminder. The curfew doesn't apply to people going to and from work. It also doesn't apply to people who have an emergency or need medical care, and it's not intended to stop everyone from going to the grocery store or going to pharmacies. When it comes to dining out, picking up or carry out or drive-through meals are permitted after 10 p.m., but serving food and drink inside an establishment has to stop at 10 p.m. Governor Mike DeWine also talked about the COVID-19 vaccine, which again, Ohio is expecting more of those doses this week. So Governor Mike DeWine said that we can't control how fast the vaccine comes to Ohio, but we can control how fast we get it out. And there's a moral imperative to get the vaccine out as fast as possible. So when hospitals get the vaccine, the governor is asking them to do everything they can to get vaccines administered within 24 hours and to report that information back to the governor's office. DeWine also asked of people who are offered the vaccine. He said it is your decision whether or not to receive it, and if you do choose to get the vaccine, to please do so with a sense of urgency. He mentioned that if you do delay and you take your time in making that decision when you do choose to get the vaccine, it might not be available to you in that moment again because of its scarcity, so you may have to end up waiting longer. So DeWine urging people to think ahead of time whether they will be getting the COVID-19 vaccine so that they can have that choice ready when the opportunity does become available for people. Now let's take a look at the COVID-19 numbers here in the state of Ohio with these new numbers out from the Ohio Department of Health. In the last 24 hours, the case number is up. That number is at 8,178. The number of reported deaths is down just a bit, still a high number. 133 people in the last 24 hours have been reported to have died related to COVID-19. Our positive rate is up, and it is considerably up from the last number that we shared with you. The latest daily positive rate is 19.1%. That's from Monday. So for all the COVID testing that was done on Monday, 19.1% of those tests came back positive, and the 7-day average is now at 13%. New hospitalizations in the last 24 hours are down quite a bit from yesterday with 336 new hospitalizations. And right now there are 4,409 people currently in the hospital. Of those people, 1,087 of them are being treated in an intensive care unit. Both of those numbers are down a bit from yesterday. And there have been 36 new ICU admissions in the last 24 hours. Taking a look at the percentage of the hospital beds available in the state, 27% of them are open right now for people who need inpatient care. Now let's take a look at the national and the global numbers for COVID-19. These numbers come from Johns Hopkins University. Here in the U.S., the total reported number of cases of COVID, dating all the way back to when we first learned of it being here in the U.S. in January, is now at 19,575,927, And in the U.S., the total number of deaths has now broken 340,000 by a few. That number is 340,004 to be exact right now. We have 4% of the global population here in the U.S., but we've got 23.8% of the COVID-19 cases and 18.9% of the COVID-19 related deaths, as those numbers have been reported by Johns Hopkins University. Globally, there have now been a total of 82,330,554 reported COVID-19 cases, and globally there now have been a total of 1,797,732 reported COVID-19 deaths. Now, with the NBA season kicked back off, the NBA is doing what it can to make sure that the season goes off without a hitch. Last season, they used the bubble system. They're doing things a little bit differently this time, and that includes limiting what restaurants players can go to in certain cities when they're on the road. So this is due to COVID-19 protocols. They have decided that NBA players can only eat at 4 specific restaurants in each specific city when they are on the road, and those restaurants will have to adhere to strict guidelines. These are above and beyond the COVID-19 guidelines that we're seeing for just the general public in order to keep the NBA players further isolated, potentially due to all of the traveling that they do. But whatever the reason, this is what they have to do. These restaurants have to have an outdoor space or a private room that doesn't share airspace with the rest of the establishment. Servers have to wear masks and face guards. That's nothing new here in Ohio. And they have to maintain a distance of 6 feet from the players and coaches. There also needs to be a secure entrance and an exit path to limit exposure between restaurant employees and patrons and the players. So the 4 restaurants here in Cleveland that have been tapped and will have to abide by these guidelines are Barrio Gateway, Betts, Morton's Steakhouse, and Red, the Steakhouse, all of those here in the downtown Cleveland area. We have another update from the Cleveland Browns. There have been 2 COVID-19 positive tests reported today. One of them from the practice squad, a player, and another, an assistant coach, testing positive for COVID-19. So the team is working remotely today doing contact tracing in order to identify any potential high-risk contacts. Now, head coach Kevin Stefanski is the one who let us know today during a media session that it was a practice squad member and also a member of the coaching staff. That makes a total of 10 people on the COVID list, 10 players on the COVID-19 list. Now remember, that's for people who have tested positive and also for people who have been a close contact. Yesterday, safeties Andrew Sendejo and Carl Joseph and tight end Harrison Bryant were added to the COVID-19 list. Last week, linebacker B.J. Goodson was placed on the COVID-19 list, and then many people were placed on the COVID-19 list as close contacts. That includes wide receivers Jarvis Landry, Rashard Higgins, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Kaderil Hodge, as well as linebacker Jacob Phillips, added as close contacts, which played a major role in the Cleveland Browns' loss to the New York Jets on Sunday. Now, head coach Kevin Stefanski has said if Landry, Higgins, Peoples-Jones, Hodge, and Phillips continue to keep testing negative, they may be able to rejoin the team on Thursday. Fingers crossed for that, because as we all know, it's a big game on Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which has playoff implications for the Browns. If they win, they are in. If they don't win, there's still a chance, but a lot of other things have to happen in order to make that happen. Speaking of the Browns, congratulations are in order to Myles Garrett and Larry Ogunjobi. They have both earned local Pro Football Writers Awards. Garrett earned the Joe Thomas Award for the Browns Player of the Year, and Ogunjobi received the Dino Lucarelli Good Guy Award for his relationship with the media, the way he carries himself with the community, and with his teammates. So, congratulations to them. And before I let you go, as we wrap up 2020 here with, again, just 2 more days in the year, we are asking you to let us know, what is it that you would take with you into 2021, and what would you prefer to leave in the past in 2020? You can let us know that by tweeting us, WKYC. You can also reply to our Instagram post on our Facebook post. And you can also send me a message, _Stephanie Haney, and let me know what you're taking with you into 2021 and what you're leaving in the past. For me, some things that I would take into 2021 are personal space. I like the personal space that we've all kind of gotten used to in public places. Be happy to take that with me. And also the people that I've been very lucky, the small circle of people that I've been very lucky to spend this year with, hoping to bring that into 2021. And as far as what I would like to leave in 2020, any anxious thoughts, I would be very happy to leave that in the past, because I can be a little bit anxious, and really that doesn't do any good for anyone. A quote that I like to return to is, Worrying is like sitting in a rocking chair. Gives you something to do, doesn't necessarily get you anywhere. All right, that's it for your 3 News Now update for Wednesday, December 30th. I'll see you next up on Clicking in Cleveland with your trending stories and also a preview of the 2020 Year in Review podcast. You can find that two-parter on the 3 Things to Know with Stephanie Haney podcast. That's linked on WKYC.com, and it's also on every podcast platform, so just search for 3 Things to Know with Stephanie Haney and you'll find it there. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Stay safe and be well. I'm Stephanie Haney.